How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Clutch City Chronicles, and today we're going to be talking about the many possibilities the Houston Rockets could pursue with their number 4 overall pick. And we're going to get the video started with the first option, and that is drafting the pick. Despite being outside the top 3, there's still a lot of talent available. I understand Victor Wembanyama, Brandon Miller, and Scoot Henderson are in a tier of their own, but you still got talent outside the top 3. Obviously, Cam Whitmore, Jarris Walker, who's from Houston right now. He's playing for University of Houston, so he's basically a Houston native, if you will. He would be a nice addition, very great defender, very versatile defender, and would be a nice addition to our wing department. However, my favorite pick with the number 4 overall pick would definitely be Amen Thompson. 6'7" point guard, great defender, can get to the basket, very athletic, would be a nice pairing with him and Jalen Green. The only knock on his game being his outside shot, but it's not very similar to Ben Simmons, because Amen Thompson, he's not afraid to shoot the 3 ball. Like, he's willing to improve that area of his game, unlike Ben Simmons, and that's definitely promising if you are, the team that's trying to draft him, because he has all the other tools in his bag, minus that outside shot, which is very inconsistent right now. However, I really believe he can improve that and eventually become a consistent 3-point threat. So overall, if I were to draft with the number 4 overall pick, I would go with Amen Thompson 100%. He would be a nice addition, whether it's off the bench in his first year or maybe in the starting lineup. I highly doubt he would be starting in his first year, considering the Rockets are trying to make a push for the play-ins, but he would still be a nice addition to the young core nonetheless. So that's the first option. You draft the pick, which is what you usually do in the lottery, but the Rockets are in an interesting position this offseason. They're really trying to expedite the process and get better quickly so they can be a threat next season to make the play-in or even playoffs, because again, they owe their top 4 protected pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're not trying to tank again. So the fact of the matter is they're trying to get better quickly. Can they do that by trading up or trading down? That's the second option. That is trading the pick, either to move up in the draft or move back in the draft. Now, if you're going to move up, per reports, specifically Kelly Iko has reported the Rockets have explored the options of trading the number 4 overall pick and the number 20 pick from the LA Clippers as a package in order to move up to the number 3 spot in order to get a Scoot Henderson, who most likely could be available with that pick. And the reason behind that is because the Hornets are heavily interested in Brandon Miller right now, and there's a good chance that Scoot falls to number 3 to the Portland Trailblazers. And as you all know, they already have Anthony Simons, they have Damian Lillard, they don't need another guard. So the Rockets could easily package both their picks in the first round, move up 1 spot, and get Scoot Henderson, who easily makes the Rockets a better team next season, could easily be a starting point guard for them next season, as he is explosive, can get to the rack, and is again a nice pairing with Jalen Green in the backcourt. However, I don't think the Blazers would trade out for just 2 picks. They're going to ask for an all-star caliber guy in return, because again, the Blazers are in win now mode, win with Damian Lillard mode, and I don't think they're just going to take the number 4 and number 20th pick. And as for the Charlotte Hornets, they're going to ask for even more, because that's the number 2 overall pick, where you have the option of both Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson. So it's going to be quite pricey moving up. That's the conclusion I could draw. However, the other flip side of the coin is moving back, getting more assets in the process, and just avoiding the draft overall in order to gain more assets down the line to make a trade for a star player, in the next 2, maybe 3 years, in order to really make a championship caliber team. That's an option I really like. It's a real patient option, because you got $60 million in cap space. You don't need to trade the number 4 overall pick for an established star, because you can just go out and sign an established star if you want. So you could just trade back, collect more assets in the process, and really just hold those assets on until you find the right star to trade for. That would be a very viable option for the Rockets if they really want to think a little more long term, if you will. So that's the second option, either trade up or trade down. But the third and final option is trading the pick for an established player. Now, there aren't a lot of trade rumors going on right now, but if I were to just to guess players that I think would be available this offseason, you got Trae Young. He's a point guard who could really help the Rockets out. OG Anunoby, he's a small forward that could be an amazing defensive presence for us, along with obviously the fact that he is a really good three-point shooter in this point in his career. Pascal Siakam's an option, Karl Anthony Towns. The list goes on. There's a lot of players that could potentially become available around the time of the draft, where you could trade that pick along with maybe other assets in order to get an established star. This is definitely an option I think the Rockets could pursue on draft night or even before draft night, as they are, again, according to their coaching staff, Ime Udoka, Tillman Fertitta. You ask anyone in that organization and they're going to say, we want to make the playoffs next year. So if you really want to do that, if you want to push and expedite the process, trading that number 4 overall pick for an established star is definitely a viable option for the Houston Rockets. So as you can see, the options are endless with this number 4 overall pick. I'm very interested to see what the Rockets do. And overall, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below on what option you would choose if you were the Houston Rockets front office. So like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.